While Jim Thorpe made history as the first to play two sports professionally, Bo Jackson really took things to the next level by achieving all-star status in both the NFL and Major League Baseball. A true trailblazer. But here's the thing, his personal life was anything but typical. It was filled with unique challenges, and you have to hear about them. Bo Jackson's journey began in Bessemer, Alabama on November 30th, 1962. He was the eighth child of Florence Jackson Bond, who named him Vincent Edward Jackson after a TV show star she admired, Vince Edwards from Ben Casey. But little Vincent wasn't exactly like the show's caring character. He was quite a handful. In fact, his family started calling him Boar, which got shortened to Bo and stuck with him ever since. How adorable, am I right? Bo inherited his size and athletic ability from his absentee father, A.D. Adams, but also his father's terrible stutter. While the size made Bo big and tough on the field, the stutter made him a target for teasing from other kids. What he didn't inherit from his father, though, was discipline. In his own words from his autobiography, Bo recalled a tough childhood. "We never had enough food, but at least I could beat on other kids and steal their lunch money and buy myself something to eat. But I couldn't steal a father. I couldn't steal a father's hug when I needed one. I couldn't steal a father's whipping when I needed one." Despite not being known for his academic achievements at McAdory High School in McCalla, Alabama, Bo found comfort and an outlet for his energy in sports. He excelled, winning 2 state high school decathlon titles. Yet it was his outstanding performance on the football field and baseball diamond as a senior that caught the eye of scouts. He averaged an incredible 10.9 yards per carry as a running back and smashed 20 home runs in just 25 baseball games. The New York Yankees even drafted him in the second round of the 1982 draft, but Bo decided to accept a football scholarship to Auburn University instead. His time at Auburn was nothing short of legendary. He made his mark with an impressive football career, rushing for 4,303 yards over 4 years. He also scored 43 touchdowns during his time as a Tiger. What really topped it off was his senior year performance, where he bulldozed his way to 1,786 rushing yards, earning him the prestigious Heisman Trophy in 1985 as college football's standout player. His incredible talent was already blowing people's minds, but as talented as Bo was in football, his heart was set on baseball. "My first love is baseball," he once said. "It has always been a dream of mine to be a major league player." Thankfully, baseball scouts were equally impressed with Bo's potential. After watching him play on April 13th and 14, 1985, one scout raved, "He's a complete player with outstanding tools. He can do it all, and he didn't even play baseball last year. A naturally gifted athlete, arguably the best in America today." How amazing is that? His entire career was truly one of a kind, with him setting new records left and right. But it also brought its fair share of challenges. Take, for instance, his recent legal battle. The former professional baseball and football star recently scored a major victory. He secured a $21 million verdict in a civil case against his own niece and nephew for attempting to extort him. Yeah, you heard that right. And here's what happened. In a decision handed down, the court not only awarded Jackson the hefty sum, but also issued a permanent protective order. This order stops Thomas Lee Anderson and Erica M. Anderson Ross from contacting or bothering Jackson and his immediate family. Additionally, the Andersons are required to keep a distance of at least 500 yards from the Jacksons and remove any content about them from social media, according to various news reports. You see, the lawsuit, filed back in April, alleged that Jackson's relatives resorted to harassment and intimidation in an attempt to extort $20 million from him. Reflecting on the outcome, Jackson's attorneys, Robert Ingram and David Conley, made it clear that attempts to extort money from Bo Jackson and his family would not go unanswered. Good for him for fighting back. At 61 years old, Jackson detailed how the harassment began back in 2022. It involved threatening social media posts, messages, and public accusations that painted him in a false light. According to WSB-TV, the ordeal also included the public disclosure of private information aimed at causing severe emotional distress. Things got even more intense when Thomas Anderson allegedly threatened on Facebook to release photos, texts, and medical records of Jackson, all to supposedly show America he meant business, according to the lawsuit. To make matters worse, with the help of an Atlanta attorney, the Andersons reportedly demanded a hefty sum of money in exchange for stopping their troubling behavior. Jackson claimed they even threatened to disrupt a charity event he was hosting in Auburn and planned to appear at a restaurant near his home as part of their campaign of harassment and intimidation. The lawsuit highlighted that Jackson and his immediate family felt genuinely threatened, leading to concerns for their safety. It sought a stalking protective order against the Andersons and sought compensation for intentional infliction of emotional distress and invasion of privacy. Jackson also filed a civil conspiracy claim against the siblings. Sounds about right, doesn't it? The court didn't hold back in its judgment on this matter, and justice was served. It found that the actions against Jackson had no valid reason behind them. Even after Jackson's attorneys sent a cease and desist letter, the intimidation and harassment didn't stop. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Cobb County Superior Court Judge Jason D. Marbutt stated in his order that the Andersons and their lawyers didn't contest Jackson's claims or engage in the case after a May 2023 hearing. At that time, they agreed to a temporary protective order. The judge ultimately ruled the Andersons in default, considering all of Jackson's allegations as true. In his written decision, Marbutt didn't mince words, describing the defendant's behavior as extreme and outrageous. He noted that there was evidence suggesting the Andersons' attorney indicated their misconduct could cease if Jackson paid them $20 million. It's a relief that, despite facing extortion and harassment from his own family, this story ended on a somewhat positive note, given everything. But I can't say the same about the next tragedy I'm about to share. Before that, let me quickly remind you to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to keep hearing more about these fascinating sportsmen who excelled in everything they did. Here's what happened. Jackson faced a major setback during the 1990 to 1991 football season when he suffered a severe hip injury playing for the Raiders. Because of this injury, the Royals thought his career was over and released him at the start of the 1991 baseball season. He then signed with the Chicago White Sox, but after playing just 23 games, it became clear he couldn't continue. People felt a lot of sympathy for his attempt to come back, but it was painful to watch him struggle to run bases and chase fly balls. Once an elegant player, he was now only a shadow of his former self who had done so well with the Royals. Jackson eventually had a hip replacement and tried to return in 1993. He played some as a designated hitter with the White Sox in 1993 and the California Angels in 1994, but he never reached the same level of performance as before. It was a sad end to Bo Jackson's career. Some might even call it a tragedy, and they wouldn't be wrong. Jackson's baseball career had moments of brilliance, but it was cut short by an injury on the football field. Many believe that if he had played a full career in the majors, he could have become one of the greatest players of all time. I only wish we could have seen those gifts over a longer career. Recently, he has been grappling with a persistent health issue that has persisted far longer than usual. He's been dealing with chronic hiccups since July 2022, which has significantly impacted his daily life. In a recent interview, Jackson revealed his ongoing struggle and the reason for missing the statue dedication ceremony for fellow Auburn and MLB star Frank Thomas. "I couldn't attend because of these hiccups," Jackson explained. "I've had them since last July. Later this week, I'm scheduled for a medical procedure to try and finally find some relief. I've spent countless hours in doctor's offices, undergoing various tests and examinations to figure out what's causing them. Despite numerous attempts, traditional remedies have failed to stop the hiccups, leading Jackson to try unconventional methods. I've tried everything, startling myself, hanging upside down, drinking water, even some really bizarre things," he shared during the interview. Nothing has worked. As of now, there haven't been any updates on the outcome of his procedure, but I know we're all hoping Jackson finally finds the relief he's been seeking for so long. Even though his sports career was cut short, his impact and legacy continue to resonate. He currently resides in Burr Ridge, Illinois, with his wife Linda, who works as a rehabilitation counselor, and their 3 children. Reflecting on his football days in a 2017 interview, Jackson expressed regret over not being fully aware of the health risks associated with the sport. "I wish I had known about all those head injuries," he remarked. The game has become so violent, and we're much more educated now on issues like chronic traumatic encephalopathy. There's no way I would let my kids play football today.